Good morning, YouTube land. It is the last Tuesday of 2022. Oh my goodness, Demetrius Thomas coming to you via video. Always going live on Facebook, but I am currently off Facebook for a minute. And I am really activating my YouTube channel, Healing to Help Heal 1122, here to just share my content, which is my life and my experience with what it looks like to come from a very broken space to push into a very whole space. And of course, you all know I'm still healing, still doing the work, still on the potter's wheel, still trusting, still evolving, still growing, still mending, still all of those wonderful things, still in the race. So I wanted to go live, not go live. I wanted to video yesterday. Listen at me. It was during my praying and meditation and fasting time is when I really had this download. And I was just thinking over 2022 like I always do. I always go for my years. I sit down and process things, just like a CEO would of their business, just like companies do of their business and other things. But I do mine by quarters. But this last week, I really sit back and I take time to really reflect and really become real and authentic about where I'm at with my emotions, mental, financial, and spiritual. And the last 3 years seems like I've done that from like a foggy space. I can say this year is the first year that since my son passed in 2019 that I've been able to do that from a clear headspace, a clearer headspace, and just saying, okay, God, if you all watch me, I mean, I'm a woman of faith. I can't deny that. That's who I am. That's how I'm where I am today. So I'm like, okay, I'm paying attention. I'm listening. I was very obedient these last 3 months in doing some things connected to the sacrifices that what I needed to do and what I needed to, whatever had transpired. And when I say that, because I had to allow myself to accept what was happening. And I guess over the last couple of years, because I've been able to embrace things that I had no control over. For one, the death of my son. For two, things that happened afterwards. It was bad, toxic connections. And I had to allow whatever was going to transpire. I'm in a space to embrace it and allow it and heal from it and keep moving. So I say that with what I want to share this morning on this Turnaround Tuesday, Turn Up Tuesday, Terrific Tuesday, whatever it may be for you. Even if it's a horrific Tuesday, I'm not sure. I know that everybody's going through something, in something, coming out of something, or getting ready to go through something. But I want to share this with you all from my heart space as someone who I know that encourage, inspires, influence, impacts. When I tell you, I looked over 2022, and I'm okay that sometimes I do process things a little bit deeper. And all I could think to myself was, I just kept hearing the song, Congratulations. That was the download for me yesterday. And it was so heavy on my spirit and so heavy on my heart. And if you're watching me, if you watch me, I don't care if it's today, tomorrow, there is no time limit on my videos. There's no time stamp. Because life doesn't have a time limit or a time stamp. You never know what you're going to get. But I want to tell you this. If you made it this far, if what you've embraced, what you've been through, whether you put yourself through it, someone else put you through it, whether it was something you done or whether it was something someone else done, you made it, and congratulations. Meaning not made it to the final destination, but you're still making it on this journey. You made it to December 27. You made it to the end of 22. We don't know what happens before January the 1st, but I'm telling you, my heart, soul, and spirit really was crying out yesterday, you made it. As I look back, even in 2019, in December of 2019, it's some things I can never tell you because my mind, I can't even remember it, at least not now. Sometimes I have moments and blurs and I have flashbacks, things that happened from in that space. But when I look and think of December of 2020, and that's what I did these last few days, and I look back over my life, and I look at the dates, and I look at the moments, and I look at how far I've come. December 2019 is a blur. I can't remember it. That's just the truth. That's called grief brain. I talked about some things on my live in Facebook land, but I'll share that over here on this page. For those who may be going through whatever, you really can hurt so much that your brain can alter the way it thinks. That's why mental status is real. Mental illness is real. Mental health is real. Mental situations, mental issues, they are real. I said statuses, but I meant issues. So I'm saying this to say with you all, I look back over 2019. It was a blur. 2020, it wasn't a blur to me, but it was the beginning of another level of breaking that I can't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine. It was the first stage of a discard. It was the first stage of a new level of brokenness in my life. It was the first stage of coming through, and I say stage because I've grown from it. I mean, I'm so grateful for the journey. It was the first stage of understanding what it was to follow your flesh. I'm going to take accountability because that's how I got healed. To follow your flesh, to think, what you're doing. You can know in your mind that it's not okay, but to think you're doing something that you need. It was the first part, it was the first stage of 2020 of me experiencing, and I know God allowed it for a purpose, because like I said, I look back over this date, and in 2020, it was like I had went through a whole nother death again. I was really facing reality that I had connected with a friendship that I thought was genuine and pure, because that child had died, and they had came into my world, and I really thought that this not necessarily that this was it, but I thought that this was something that was helping me to get over my threshold, because that's what got to me yesterday. I thought it was someone that was in my life that was helping me, and all the time it was something that was hurting me and that would destroy me. It was December of 2020 when I got my first block for no reason. When I got my first block on social media, first block on the phone, simply because I had become so dependent on this connection. This is why I'll teach in 2022, 2023 on the vulnerability of when you're broken. Why there's some decisions and some choices you never should make, at least on your own. That's the problem when you're in a broken and a vulnerable state. It was the first part of me having to go through another level of brokenness because of decisions that I made. Because I wasn't forced, but I was manipulated and coerced because I was so broken I didn't see a lot. I was so broken I didn't see a lot. And then I became so needy in my heart for the connection, because I felt it was okay, because we were experiencing the same kind of loss and at that level. And to learn that this person, this is how they operated. To learn that this is how this person lived their whole life, is connected with broken people to get what they need out of life. And it was happening to me at this time. And after the ice broke, at that time, I was probably the 4th or 5th woman that year. We're not talking, this is what had been done over decades. So as I sat and I had my prayer and meditation, and I was looking over the last 3 years, this time in 2020 was my first discard. Was my first, I think we need some space. Was my first, I think we need some time. Was my first, this is getting a little too much for me. Was my first. So I'm saying all that to say that I was allowed to experience that. It taught me what I didn't need. It taught me not just what I didn't need. It taught me how powerful it is and how vital it is that when you're in a broken space, that that if you can't even hold yourself accountable, that you have someone that loves you enough to help hold you accountable. Because that's what I didn't have. I had released all of that. But I'm grateful for the journey because I'm now able to teach and help people from that space. So when I went on into 2021, December last year, I could see the growth. I could finally see where I was fighting with everything within me to not just heal from my son's death, but to heal from that broken heart, to heal from the sabotages of people that are connected to folks who help them do what they need to do to disconnect and get out of situations that they found themselves in. And I can see the break of dawn. I can see the daylight. I can see the end of the tunnel. I can feel the wholeness again. I can feel my life coming together again. I can feel me wanting to live again and not just exist. I can feel me being okay with going back into the arena that this person is a part of and is very well known and has a lot of folks that they are connected to. I can just feel the break of day. I can feel it. I can feel it. And I can look now in December of 2022 and I can see the clarity. Not just see the clarity, but I also see, I can see and hear so much direction for my life. I can see and hear clearly the paths that I'm to take. I can see and hear clearly the voice that said it's okay if you don't fit in. It's okay if folks don't always understand. It's okay if you don't do it right. It's okay if you disconnect. It's okay if you walk alone. It's okay if you need more healing. It's okay if you need more time. It's okay. It's so clear. And it's spoken to me in such a light that you're arriving. You haven't arrived, but you're arriving. You've came so far. I've came so far. And it's such an overwhelming feeling of joy. I've came so far from December 2019, which is a blur, December 22, which felt like I was at a funeral all over again, December 2021, I was fighting to get out of that hole and to not just get out, but to stay out. And then in December 2022, I feel like my head and my body is out the hole. How I've climbed out of this deep well, deep hole. And now my body is standing at the top of the hole. And I'm coming up for fresh air. And I'm looking and I'm saying, wow, I'm doing this. I'm doing this thing called life. I'm doing this thing called forgiveness. I'm doing this thing called I'm better and really not bitter. I'm doing this thing that says I didn't have to fix it. God, you did it and you're still doing it. I'm doing this thing like, whew, I have a second chance. I'm feeling this thing at the top of this hole like, wow, there's the sun. There's the moon, there's the stars. I'm smiling without making myself again. I didn't cry all through the holidays. I didn't weep. I didn't think about what my connection at the time when my son passed and his son had passed. And I'm not thinking about what's going on in his world and his life. I'm not thinking about, was I really loved or was it fake, or, what was the moments pure and sincere? None of that. All I know is I'm at the top of this hole and I'm saying, God, I'm coming. Congratulations is what I got in my spirit yesterday. I'm saying to you, continue to do the work. Continue to move forward. Continue to move. I don't care how many times you set back. I don't care how many times you step back. I don't care how many times you fall. I don't care how many bad choices you make. I don't care how many hard decisions you have to make. I don't care who does not understand the journey that you're on, who can't handle you, who don't get you. It's about you and you. Move forward, do the work, keep moving. But I want to tell you, congratulations. Congratulations. Happy Tuesday. Love, peace, and happiness. Your Picologist.